Have you ever felt a subtle shift in how people treat you when they realize they can't control you anymore? It's a strange and almost invisible shift, but when you stop being easily manipulated, some people won't just walk away. Instead, they'll try to regain control using different tactics. You might think you're simply living your life, unaware that they're quietly working behind the scenes to pull you back into their influence. But the truth is, Stoic philosophy teaches us that real power isn't about controlling others. It's about refusing to be controlled. The moment you stop reacting to their subtle psychological tricks, you take back your power. The question is, are you truly free, or are you still caught in their web without even realizing it? It's time to break free once and for all. Stay with me until the end, because the most dangerous tactic of all comes last. But before diving into these lessons, let me share a story that perfectly illustrates the wisdom behind this. Adam was a man who lived life on his own terms. He refused to let anyone dictate his choices, whether it was his boss, his friends, or even his family. He believed that by standing firm in his independence, he would earn respect. However, something strange happened. People who once admired his confidence began to criticize him. Friends who praised his boldness started calling him selfish. His colleagues, once reliant on him, began spreading rumors about him. Frustrated and confused, Adam turned to his mentor, Mr. Carter, a retired businessman known for his wisdom. He asked, "Why is it that when I refuse to be controlled, people turn against me?" Mr. Carter led him to his backyard where two horses stood. One was tied to a post, calm and still, while the other roamed freely. Mr. Carter explained, "When people can control you, they feel secure. But when you are free, they grow uncomfortable because they can't predict or control you." Adam realized something powerful that day. People weren't turning against him because he was wrong. They were turning against him because they couldn't control him anymore. From that point on, Adam stopped explaining himself, stopped seeking approval, and stopped letting guilt influence his decisions. As he did, the manipulators faded away, and only the truly strong people remained in his life. When people realize they can't control you outright, they usually turn to manipulation. Manipulators are experts at using subtle tactics to influence your emotions. Guilt trips, flattery, and even emotional pressure are tools they employ to make you feel obligated to comply with their wishes. These tactics are never about respect. They're about regaining control over your feelings and actions. The beauty of Stoic philosophy is that it teaches us to recognize these emotional triggers and not be swayed by them. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This is a reminder that no one can control how you feel unless you allow them to. Manipulation thrives on your emotional reactions. When you're calm and firm in your decisions, refusing to react emotionally, you rob the manipulator of their power. Manipulation is much like a chess game. The manipulator will make a move to provoke you, hoping you'll panic or make a mistake. The key, however, is to remain still. Like in chess, you must not engage with their strategy. The more you stay calm, the more they lose the game. You don't need to defend yourself, justify your actions, or explain your reasons. Simply stay unwavering. I once found myself in a situation where a colleague tried to manipulate me emotionally after I turned down a favor. Their response was a classic guilt trip. "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me?" Instead of defending my decision or explaining myself, I simply said, "I know what you're doing." The moment I acknowledged their manipulation, their power over me was gone. That single statement marked the end of their emotional games, and they never attempted to manipulate me again. The key takeaway is that manipulation only works when you react to it. The moment you stop playing along, the game ends. Another classic tactic used by those who can't control you is spreading lies. When someone can't manipulate your emotions or dictate your behavior directly, they often resort to attacking your reputation. They twist the truth, spread rumors, and create false narratives designed to turn others against you. The goal is simple: to isolate you and control how others perceive you. This is a particularly insidious form of manipulation, but Stoicism offers us a powerful response. If you are unaffected by what is said, you have already won. Marcus Aurelius. Lies lose their power when you choose not to engage with them. The moment you try to defend yourself or correct false information, you give the lie energy to grow. But if you remain calm, focused on your actions, and let the truth speak for itself, the lie will wither away on its own. This doesn't mean you should ignore injustice, but rather that you should understand that the truth doesn't need defense. Time and your own actions will reveal it. I've faced a situation in the past when someone spread false rumors about me at work. Initially, I felt compelled to confront every lie, correct every falsehood, and defend my character. But then I paused and realized that by engaging with these lies, I was only giving them more power. Instead of reacting, I focused on being consistent in my actions. Over time, the lies faded and people began to see the truth. The individual who spread the rumors eventually exposed their own dishonesty. In the end, the lie didn't last. As Seneca wisely said, "The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose and it will defend itself." One of the most manipulative tactics is playing the victim. When someone can't control you directly, they may flip the script and present themselves as the one who's been wrong. They exaggerate situations, twist events, and seek sympathy from others to turn the tables. They aim to gain control by painting you as the aggressor and themselves as the helpless victim. This tactic plays on your emotions, hoping you'll feel guilty or compelled to defend yourself. But Stoic wisdom teaches us that we must be impervious to emotional manipulation. As Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The key is not to get drawn into their emotional drama. If you engage with their victimhood, you're playing into their hands and allowing them to control the narrative. I had an experience with someone who would always play the victim whenever I confronted them about crossing a boundary. They would twist the situation to make it seem like I was the one who was in the wrong. At first, I was tempted to explain myself and defend my actions. But then I remembered the wisdom of the Stoics. Don't waste your energy trying to prove your innocence to someone who is manipulating the story. Instead, I stayed silent, letting my actions speak for themselves. Over time, people began to see the truth. The individual who had been playing the victim exposed themselves for what they truly were, someone unwilling to take responsibility for their actions. Playing the victim is a common manipulation strategy, but it only works when you engage with it. The moment you stop reacting to their emotional games, they lose their grip on you. Remember that true strength lies not in defending yourself, but in remaining calm and detached. As the Stoics would say, "He who is not affected by the opinions of others has mastered his own soul." One of the most insidious tactics people use when they can't control you is isolation. The strategy is simple. Create distance between you and your support network, whether it's friends, family, or colleagues. The manipulators know that when you're surrounded by strong, supportive relationships, they lose their grip on you. So to regain control, they spread rumors, twist your words, and plant seeds of doubt in the minds of those around you. The goal is to make you feel isolated, alone, and disconnected from your community, so you become more dependent on them. However, as the Stoics would remind us, isolation is a tactic of the weak. True strength comes from being anchored in your own values and not needing external validation or support to stay strong. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "A man is not good because of his circumstances, but because of his response to them." So when someone tries to isolate you, it's important to recognize this attempt and not fall into the trap of dependence on them. The reality is that manipulators fear your independence. They don't want you to feel empowered by your own thoughts or relationships. Instead, they want to sever your connections, hoping that without your support network, you'll feel weaker and more willing to bend to their will. I had an experience like this in my own life. There was a person who started subtly planting seeds of doubt about me to others, spreading rumors and twisting my words to create conflict. At first, I was tempted to confront them directly and defend myself. But then I realized that doing so would only draw me further into their web of manipulation. Instead of engaging, I decided to focus on the people who truly knew me. I spent more time nurturing my real relationships, those who supported me and understood me. Over time, the truth started to shine through. Those who were influenced by the rumors faded away, while the people who genuinely cared for me remained by my side. As Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, taught us, the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests. In other words, it's through adversity, like attempts at isolation, that we can find our true strength. The more you strengthen your true relationships, the harder it becomes for anyone to divide you. The manipulators will eventually reveal themselves for who they are, and your support system will remain intact. Another subtle yet dangerous tactic used by those who cannot control you is challenging your confidence. Manipulators will often question your decisions, deliberately planting seeds of doubt in your mind. They want to make you second-guess yourself because when you're uncertain, they regain control. Whether it's a friend, a colleague, or even a family member, these individuals know that when you lack confidence in your decisions, you're more likely to seek their validation, and in doing so, you give them power over you. Confidence is not just about believing in your ability to make decisions. It's about trusting your judgment, even when others question it. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." In other words, your confidence comes from your inner belief in yourself and your actions, not from the approval or opinions of others. I remember a time when I was making an important career decision. A person I knew would often question my choices, saying things like, "Are you sure this is the right move?" Or, "Don't you think this might be too risky?" At first, I tried to explain myself and justify my choices, but over time, I realized that their questions weren't born out of concern. They were designed to make me doubt myself. Instead of continuing to explain and justify my decisions, I decided to stop seeking their validation. I trusted my judgment, stood firm in my decision, and refused to let their doubts shake me. When I did this, something incredible happened. Their questions lost their power. The more I remained confident in my choices, the less they tried to challenge me. Confidence doesn't need validation. It stands strong, even in the face of doubt. It reminds me of a lesson I learned from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote reflects the importance of holding your ground. Your confidence doesn't depend on the reactions of others. It comes from within. When you stop seeking validation from outside sources, you'll find that your confidence grows, and the people who once tried to make you doubt yourself will no longer have the same power over you. Some manipulators try to provoke you emotionally. They'll insult you, belittle you, or say things designed to frustrate or anger you. When they get you to react emotionally, they win. The key here is not to react. Stay calm, stay detached, and let their attempts to provoke you fall flat. When you don't feed their emotional manipulation, they lose their grip on you. I recall a time when someone tried to bait me into an argument by throwing insults and exaggerating past mistakes. I could feel the anger rising, but I didn't engage. Instead, I simply responded with, "Interesting perspective." Their attempt to provoke me fizzled out, and they were left without a reaction to feed off of. One of the most frustrating and at times infuriating tactics people use when they can't control or surpass you is copying you. You'll notice that when someone can't beat you or figure out their own path, they begin to mimic yours. They copy your ideas, your actions, and your success in an attempt to absorb your success without doing the hard work themselves. This is a form of imitation, and it's rooted in insecurity. But here's the truth. Copying can never replace originality. The Stoics believe that true greatness comes from embracing who you are, not imitating others. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. You must stand firm, ready to face whatever comes your way." And standing firm means not being distracted by the imitators around you. I remember a time when I had a colleague who started mimicking every decision I made. Whether it was a new project, a style of writing, or a bold move in my career, suddenly they were interested in doing the same thing. At first I found it annoying and a little flattering in an odd way, but then I realized something crucial. No matter how much they imitated my actions, they could never replicate my true essence, the unique perspective and creative energy I brought to everything I did. What they didn't understand was that success doesn't come from copying someone else's path. True success comes from blazing your own trail, from evolving, adapting, and staying true to your own journey. So instead of being irritated by their copying, I focused on continuously improving myself, finding new challenges, and pushing myself to grow. And as I kept evolving, they were left behind, stuck trying to keep up with someone else's steps. This is something I've learned through the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." It's about defining your own path, not looking to others for direction. No one can truly replicate your originality because it comes from your unique combination of experiences, insights, and values. So when someone tries to copy you, take it as a sign that you're on the right path. You're doing something that others find valuable, even if they don't understand how to get there themselves. Kobe didn't wait for motivation. He made it a habit to give his best, day in and day out. That commitment to discipline turned him into a giant in his field. And that's the key. Discipline is what allows you to keep moving forward, even when the excitement and motivation wear off. It's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, understood this better than most. He said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Life is full of challenges. It's easy to see obstacles as something to avoid, but the Stoics saw them as opportunities to grow. The obstacles you face aren't there to stop you. They're there to shape you. Discipline is the force that turns every setback into a setup for a comeback. Your feelings, however, will often betray you. Some days your mind will tell you to quit, to rest, to skip the work. But discipline doesn't listen to those excuses. Discipline is what keeps you going, even when you don't feel like it. It's the quiet force that pushes you forward when motivation has long since disappeared. Consider Thomas Edison. Most people know him as the man who invented the light bulb, but they don't often hear about the countless failures he faced before that. He didn't get there overnight. He tried thousands of different ways, failing again and again. But each failure wasn't a reason to stop. It was a reason to try again. Edison didn't wait for motivation to strike. He kept going because he was disciplined. It wasn't the flashes of brilliance that made him great. It was the small, everyday commitment to keep moving forward, even when failure seemed inevitable. This is the power of daily commitment. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about showing up consistently, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the muscle that builds over time. It's what gets you through the hard days, and that's what shapes your future. When you choose discipline over feelings, you're building something unshakable. You're creating habits that will carry you through every tough day, every moment of doubt, and every obstacle that comes your way. Discipline is the foundation of everything great in life. It's the bedrock that success is built on. So when life gets tough and you're tempted to quit, remember this: discipline will always carry you further than motivation ever could. The more you commit to it, the stronger you'll become. Keep building those habits, stay consistent, and let discipline be the force that drives you to success. Reset, restart, refocus. These aren't just words, they're the blueprint for taking back control of your life. You have the power within you to burn away the past, to rebuild your life from the ground up, and to stay focused on what truly matters. Every moment is an opportunity to choose a new path, one that's driven by purpose, strength, and clarity. Remember, protect your energy and commit to discipline over feelings. The distractions and obstacles will always be there, but it's your ability to stay committed that will shape the future you want. The world isn't waiting for tomorrow. The world is yours to conquer today. This is the moment to stop waiting for change and start being the change. Stop looking back and start looking ahead, because the future belongs to those who choose to act. This is the Stoic way. This is the warrior's way. The path forward is yours to shape. And here's the exciting part. This journey doesn't stop here. If this video resonated with you, trust that the rest of the content on this channel will guide you even further toward the transformation you're seeking. Stay strong, stay focused, and never let the fire inside you die. Keep pushing forward, because your best self is waiting for you on the other side. So don't stop now. Subscribe and check out our other videos that dive deeper into the principles that can change your life. Your transformation starts here. Let's walk this path together.